Hello and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Congress and the politics of being Rahul Gandhi. He's getting a lot of good press after a long time post the Bharat Jodo Yatra, post his intervention or his speech in Parliament where he raised the Adani issue. In fact, I for one thought it was a good thing that he brought it on the floor of the House instead of protesting outside Parliament, which is what the Congress normally has been doing until now. Of course, his remarks were expunged, but that didn't stop them from being circulated on social media, and Rahul Gandhi did get to have his say. But is it enough? Because at the end of the day, as the Prime Minister himself pointed out, he has the vote and the trust of 140 crore Indians. The PM's credibility still stands. Can Rahul make a dent on it? Can he actually try and make the connection between the Adani and the Prime Minister's office, as was made during the Bofors? Later on, of course, the charges were dropped, but the damage was done. At the end of the day, what can the Congress do? We have the AICC plenary also coming up at the end of the month. Will Rahul Gandhi and the Congress deliver on their promise and have an elected CWC? Will Kharge be allowed to function the way he wants to? Or will again these Darbar politics hold their sway? Joining us on the show is Rashid Kidwai. He's the author of 24 Akbar Road, amongst other books, and Congress Watcher journalist, columnist. We have PKD Nambiar. He's a columnist, commentator, political analyst, and Sohail Seth, familiar face on Roundtable, one of our favorites, political analyst, commentator. And but Rashid, first I'd like to begin with you because there's a piece that you wrote that I really liked on the Congress road ahead. And in fact, it while you did say that Rahul has done well, but a lot more needs to be done. And the fact on the CWC, the AICC plenary, are we expecting any change or will it be more of the same?
I think, Priya, it's a very interesting question, and it will remain a question because the Congress, what in its wisdom, because it's a grand old party, it's quite seems to be, it's very allergic to change. So they don't want to bring any element of newness. And this plenary was a very good platform to, reboot the kind of good work that Rahul Gandhi had done during Bharat Jodo Yatra and convert some of his optics into kind of political arena. Instead, what they are doing, there is a steering committee which is like outgoing CWC. It will decide on 24th of February, the first day of the plenary, whether CWC elections will be held or not. Now, this is weird because the plenary is for 3 days. On the day one, if you decide there are 1,200 voters, so to say, if there are 30, 40, 50 candidates, how are voters going to reach out to those, candidates going to reach out to voters and all? The list is not out. List of AICC delegates. Remember, it's a political party, 1,200 names, and it's all there. So they can put it on a official AICC website. All these things have not been done. Rahul, it says, the party kind of whispers and all, they say Rahul wants it. Now, I don't understand if he could undertake this kind of yatra, and Mr. Sohail said, correct me if I'm wrong, party was not all for it because they were saying, what is the point of this yatra and all, but he did this yatra, 4,000 kilometers, etc. Why he can't hold CWC election? They're saying Kharge will become weekend, there will be a lobby, all kind of, logic and arguments are being marshaled, but end of the day, in the Congress, we see masterly inactivity. Inaction becomes action, and that is actually, killing the Congress.
Fair enough. In fact, you also hinted that perhaps Yogendra Yadav might join the Congress. I don't know what kind of optics that was in. But Sohail, you're a brand manager. You also, in terms of marketing and branding, what is Rahul doing? So far, I know you approved of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, but are you happy with the way the fallout has happened, his performance in Parliament, the road ahead?
I always say that, Rahul Gandhi has great intention, but very poor execution. In the sense that the Bharat Jodo Yatra was non-seamless. As I mentioned on your program many months ago, that if it was close to some massive elections, then it makes sense that it seamlessly dives into it. It's done, it's in a limbo. It got attention. I think Bharat Jodo Yatra was actually a Rahul Jodo Yatra with politics. It was to jodo him with politics rather than anything else. It hasn't done anything to the Congress. And ultimately, Priya, it's not about how many kilometers you walk. It's how much the voters are willing to walk for you to the ballot box and vote for you. That's the ultimate test in a democracy. You and I can go on long walks. If walking was the denominator of political success, all the jokers who walk in Lodi Gardens would all be politicians. They're walking every day. So, walking is not the issue. Plus, there were so many contradictions within the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Sometimes he's talking about how he's uh, you know, equal affection for all animals. I mean, where does that come in? Then he says he didn't meet anyone, who had hate, but yet the yatra was against hatred. So all these contradictions are there. A, B, this whole thing about, and I've said this again and again, this whole thing that these politicians are doing against industry is going to be in very bad form. Because see, these jokers can't get a job for anyone. It's very easy to throw mud at people. Ki isne galat kiya, usne galat kiya. What has happened is the same old thing, and I've written about it. It'll come out this week. I said Parliament in India is now farcical. So if Parliament is the denominator of democracy, then we don't have any democracy because there's nothing being discussed in Parliament. And all parties are guilty. The BJP did it when they were in opposition. These people are doing it today. So parliamentary democracy yields nothing. All the remarks were expunged. It'll never be part of parliamentary record. I mean, this farce is being played on our hapless democracy day in and day out. On all issues such as these, when there are investigative agencies, when there are regulators, let them do the job as they are doing the job. And let me tell you.
Do you trust the regulators? I mean, with either government, regulators always play the government's tune.
Not at all. In fact, let me tell you, this is one government. And, again, they may have hit themselves in the foot. Let's look at the three very important independent processes in India. The judiciary under Chandrachud has never been more independent. Number two, look at Madhavi Puri Book, who is the head of SEBI, outstanding professional, has made enough money as a private bank, as a career banker. She doesn't need any, government hand-me-downs and sinecures. Then look at Shaktikant. Shaktikant Das, to my mind, has been one of the finest governors of the Reserve Bank since Subba Rao or perhaps Bimal Jalal. There has never been a better governor. Raghuram Rajan was a better professor, but Bernard Shaw said of teachers, those who can do, those who can't teach. So I'm saying these are not regulators who can be influenced and or the judiciary. So cut them some slack. Plus, every time Rahul Gandhi says something, it is his hatred for Modi that gets converted into hatred for India. Because the BJP is brilliant at waving the flag. BJP is essentially a party that says, even if you comment on Modi's watch, it's a bad commentary on India's timing. I mean, this is how they've made that link. These chaps are falling into the trap every day. He should have adopted a very clear thing. No shouting, no this thing, saying, will you issue a statement or will you not? If you don't issue a statement, let the people decide. But constant, and see, he's been crying wolf for too often. No one now believes him.
That's true. After Rafael, now this, before that also he was, this whole Chokidar Chora, which didn't go off. In a way, you're right. About Raghuram Rajan, I don't know if this teaching is just a temporary post. I think we have a theory about him, I think Rashid and I, that once Rahul Gandhi or whenever the Congress does come to power, Raghuram Rajan may have some political ambitions again. But Mr. Nambiar, you too, again, you have some serious sources within the Congress. You've written a book on brand management. So how do you take Rahul Gandhi post the Bharat Jodo Yatra? Is the Rahul who raised Rafael different from the Rahul who's raising the Adani issue?
Well, I agree with both my other co-panelists, both Rashid Bhai and Suhail, that it is predominantly nothing to do with Congress or a political yatra. It was more to do with a relaunch of Rahul Gandhi to that extent. Some seriousness, maybe some kind of a perception, a betterment of Rahul Gandhi has done. But unfortunately, the problem is that Rahul Gandhi still cannot communicate well. If anybody, all those people who have listened to him, that speech of him in the parliament, I would rate only just out of 10, maybe 2. The reason being his communication skill is still completely poor. Generally, and Suhail will agree with me, in communication business like us, we say that if you keep on practicing communication, you will become a better communicator. But in his case, he may have addressed maybe 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 odd public programs, and his communication still, maybe he may be intent to speak something, but by the time he communicates, it becomes not the one which he wanted to. At least the people who listen is not get that message. The most important thing in our business, we say that we are living in a marketplace. So in politics too, is a marketplace today. There are multiple stakeholders and one party which is leading, and the difference between the the leader and the second opponent, which is Congress in this case, is more of like an 80-20. Is the Congress with this 4,000 kilometers Bharat Jodo Yatra could even lessen that the wideness of their gap between Modi and Rahul? I would say zero. Rather, it has only come down, and the Modi's popularity has gone up. So you will always, in a marketplace, you will always look at with whom are you competing with. You are competing with somebody who is a master communicator. Has got a huge amount of experience in governance. The one who worked tirelessly 18 hours a day, even if whether it is true or not, at least we all believe, the most of the Indians, even his opponents, believe that what kind of an energy this man has got. So I think in this marketplace, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress is still in a very, very weak wicket. And most importantly, since you said there are some insights, let me tell you, Sachin Pilot is on the edge. He's just waiting for a day or a spark. Usko kuch mile taki wo nigal jaye. He's just waiting for that spark to happen. It will happen any day from now. Bhupinder Singh Hooda and all those kind of people, they, even though they participated, they in the Bharat Jodo Yatra, they were all trying to show that they are all one. The very, very difficult, because none of these people, the Congress old guards, they never used to a life without power, and it's very difficult for them to sustain for such a long time without having any power, no security, no koi पूछता ही नहीं है. Luthians, as the way the Modi used to say that I will cut the Luthians gang, and it has actually happened. The people who are still wearing the old jackets just still feel that in that nostalgia of power is in a situation in the Congress old guards, they don't have any more space. Now coming to the reality of 2024 and Congress of today. The Congress in most of the places, the Karnataka is where the Congress.
I'll come back to you on that, PKD. Let me quickly also get Rashid into this thing about 2 out of 10 for Rahul's speech. Is that very harsh? And secondly, both the names he took, Sachin Pilot and Bhupinder Hooda, recently had lunches for in the capital recently. You know, they were better for Congress leaders and politicians. So interesting the names that he took. Rashid.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody is leaving, because you see there is a hope. Mr. Hooda thinks that in Haryana the Congress will be back in power and he will be back as a chief minister. And I think Sachin is also, he thinks age is on his side. So all these things are there. The key problem here is, as everybody is saying, Rahul is working very hard, but whether the Rahul Gandhi is failing the Congress or Congress is failing Rahul Gandhi. You gave in the beginning, you gave example of this Adani and that Bofors, and I would say Arshad Mehta case, which is more relevant. And Mr. Swale said had seen it all unfolding that the BJP and the opponents were very quickly, managed to this kind of, tell the voters that whatever Arshad Mehta was doing with stock, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao had a role, or Narasimha Rao was a beneficiary, or Narasimha Rao was doing some kind of wrongdoing. Here in this case, in Adani case, the Congress primarily is not been able to establish any kind of wrongdoing. Somebody is, benefiting, that is something different. Or the BJP or Mr. Modi being, helping something or benefiting from Mr. Adani, that is not being established. And that is where I think the entire Congress party and its kind of many faces who have been ministers in the UPA and earlier time during the Rajiv Gandhi era and all, they're nowhere, in picture. They understand economics, they understand share market, they understand, investors, kind of fears and apprehension, but they are doing very little either in public or in public domain to bring that out. So I think Rahul Gandhi needs to get his team right. And what does Rahul Gandhi do? So instead he leans more on the left of center, this NGO, the Jolawala, that kind of Yogendra Yadav you're saying. The problem with the civil society people are that they're very good at accentuating and highlighting the wrongs. So they say what is happening, a lot of wrong is happening, but how do you correct it? What Mr. Swale said was hinting at, the people of India or people in the age group of 18 to 30 and all, they're looking for some kind of inspirational story. Modi is not doing good, but what is working right? What can work right? And that is where I think Rahul Gandhi is failing and faltering. But I don't blame him. I blame the Congress more. I think it is the Congress failure to take on Mr. Modi politically as an effective political party that is driving Rahul more on theoreticians, on left of center politicians, on civil society, NGOs, Jholewalas, etc.
But Rahul ka hamesha professorial streak tha, Rashid. He was always leaning towards this lot of people rather than on-ground politicians. I'm going to take a break and come back. And I have a question for Suhail in terms of optics and brand management. We have the Congress on the one side, where with a whiff of a scandal, they should take a resignation. I remember, in fact, a senior Congress leader told me, we all falling victim to Sonia Gandhi's Christian sense of morality, where, before the charges have been proved, only the ministers had to resign. Here, on the other hand, scams happen, allegations happen, but they're not taken cognizance of. So in a way, they don't happen. Whether there was a Vyapam scam or the Adani allegation or the Rafale, they are not at all, the Prime Minister, or none of them actually even take notice of it or admit it, let alone take resignations. On this issue, I'm going to ask Suhail, which is a better political strategy, after a quick break. Hello and welcome back to Roundtable. We're taking a look at the Congress and its political future, given the fact post-Bharat Jodo Yatra, we are seeing a resurgent Rahul, but then that's a picture we've seen before. Sohail, before the break, I talked to you about the optics. It's the Prime Minister's strategy on the Adani issue. Is he playing it correct?
Remember one thing about Narendra Modi.
Hmm.
He doesn't speak when he's on a sticky wicket. Never. Never. He, in many ways, is the modern-day Narasimha Rao. He believes if you remain silent, things will automatically disappear, which in our country they do. Because ours is such a great nation, either we have or we invent a crisis every day. I mean, we can turn everything into a crisis. I mean, the jokers who run the Animal Husbandry Board or Animal Welfare Board even converted the Valentine's Day, a harmless little festival, into a crisis. Oh, please hug a cow. So we are the greatest country as far as invention of crisis and invention of distraction is concerned. No one knows that better than the masterful Modi. So he just lets it be. He says, "Theek hai." Also remember my old saying, it's not my saying, but I follow it assiduously. Never get into a fight with a pig. You know why? You get dirty, but the pig loves it. Why would he get into a fight? He knows ki bhai mere chamche chapate hain. I've got the trolling army. I've got Amit Malviya. They'll do all my dirty work. So what happens is, poor Rahul Gandhi flags an issue. But as I told you, Rahul Gandhi needs only one thing, a daily dose of multi-purpose vitamins, because he lacks the stamina and the perseverance to carry this through. Because he also believes that, "Arey, ispe kuch nahi hua, kuch aur karo." The tragedy, Priya, is serious issues in this country are not being addressed with the magnitude that they should be. Take the BBC example of these income tax surveys. Just a 2-line from the government should have said that this is a survey, full stop, not a rate, full stop. These are the violations that are being investigated. Plus timing. These are the masters of bad timing. I mean, inse koi seekhe how not to do things at what time. It's almost as if Murphy was a card-carrying member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because Murphy's law operates there with gay abandon. Now what has happened is, you get one all over the world saying, "Oh, India's intolerant, non-free country, blah, blah, blah." Kamal hai yaar. So, hammam mein sab nange hain. Rahul Gandhi is as incompetent as some people in the BJP are. The difference, as Nambiar said, as PKD said, is Modi is a hard-working person. Politics is his lifeblood. Rahul Gandhi is a part-time politician and a part-time philosopher. He has to decide whether he wants to be Plato or whether he wants to be Julius Caesar. He can't be one or the other. I mean, he can't be both. And that's his problem.
There's no third option?
Well, there is. He can remain Rahul Gandhi.
On that, is remaining Rahul Gandhi all that bad, PKD? And again, as Suhail pointed out, the BJP is bungling. The BBC raids at a time when you want to be the Vishwaguru with the G20 happening. And yet these things are not catching on with the people. I don't know if tomorrow in Karnataka again, I would, the BJP is going to. I mean, Karnataka, maybe the Congress has an edge, but in terms of 2024, the narrative is still with the Prime Minister.
See, one of the biggest problem in that in the television debates or in such kind of a platforms, we don't understand the real India. For a real India, the real voters, the real vote banks of BJP, or for that matter to any other political party, they don't even know about BBC. They don't even watch BBC. They are not even bothered about the BBC. They are bothered about that is the money coming into their account, whether it is 2,000 rupees or in any year 6,000 to 8,000 rupees is coming on time. Are they getting that political optics, what they should be served, the morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner? It's been, as Sohail said, that we have we celebrate crisis, we create, we innovate issues on a daily basis so that we can consume it. The problem here is that there is an ideological war within the Congress is happening. Look at this 4,000 kilometers of yatra, which is, I believe that there may be, I don't know whether how many politicians you will be able to find that who will have the capacity to walk 4,000 kilometers across the country. I think very, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, I don't even know who they could be. But despite that, Congress is not able to convert that into a political opportunity for them. Nobody is talking about Mallikarjun Kharge. Let's look at the logic what Suhail said, that a few days ago we were talking about 2 months, our discussion was the presidential election of Congress. Even between us also we did a couple of shows in that. But today nobody wanted to discuss about Mallikarjun Kharge. We are still talking about Rahul Gandhi, who is in Gulmarg enjoying having a vacation. Now the problem is that this 4,000 kilometers yatra is suddenly gets disappeared when you see the picture of him enjoying in the Gulmarg, because that is the way our culture as a politics, the optics, what we are all talking about, that is the way people consume it. People will forget about that Bharat Jodo Yatra. People are seeing today in Gulmarg, he is having his fun time and a great time. On the other side, Narendra Modi is traveling 10,800 kilometers in 3 days in 4 states, length and breadth, from Bangalore to Tripura to Lucknow. So we have to understand what is happening overall as a country, and wherein the hit and run will not work. And the biggest mistake Rahul Gandhi and his gang is making, their left orientation, knowingly or unknowingly, whether it is Kanhaiya Kumar, whether it is Yogendra Yadav, whether it is Prashant Bhushan, some of these people they have failed politicians, they have failed professionals, they have been there all around. Now they are trying to just align with him. And जो जोले वाला जो रशीद भाई बोल रहे हैं कि that automatically takes the character of Congress is into a little left, towards the left, and which is definitely going to damage the overall perception of Congress and its political fortune forever. And imagine that all the media was after this Jolewala, Yogendra Yadav. I even asked him multiple times on television, on publicly, why don't you change the style? I mean, your style alone says that you are fake. And so when you join with these kind of a fake people, how will you expect the people to believe you? You do a speech, Adani, Ambani, there are large number of educated, these Adanis and Ambanis put together employ more than 2 lakh plus people. They all have their families.
6 lakhs.
Yeah, 6 lakhs. So 6 lakhs into 4. What is the people? It's 24 lakh board bank of Adani and Ambani or a Tata's put together. So you can't just go and attack somebody without even having any proof. Even having any proof. And on the other side, imagine in the Adani case, which we were talking about, look at in Chhattisgarh, whether it is in Kerala or in Bengal, all these places, or in Rajasthan, all these places, all the chief ministers, they had a great honeymoon time with Adani or one time or the other. So I think, जब बोलने से पहले आपको खुद भी देखना चाहिए.
Quickly, I want to ask you a quick question. Is Yogendra Yadav and Congress moving towards the left? Is it?
I have a supplementary to this.
Ask Rashid.
I'm saying it's all right to go on, as I said, attacking Rahul Gandhi. But what happens when Rahul Gandhi, as a concerned citizen, writes to Mr. Suhail Seth to join Bharat Jodo Yatra, and at least, not to join the Congress party, to join Bharat Jodo Yatra, Mr. Suhail Seth, was not visible. At least I didn't see him. So he owes an explanation, I think, Priya, that see,
Suhail
it's
or Rahul?
like Mr. Suhail said, was conceding space for Yogendra Yadav, I would say.
Suhail, this is all your fault, huh?
There are three things.
Partially.
I love the way Rashid has used privileged information, which I gave him against me. ये भी कांग्रेस की फितरत है. Number one. Number two,
वो
have you
journalist
seen
है,
my
हाँ.
size? I don't need to walk. I swim every day. I don't need to walk to prove either my nationality or the affection I have for all communities, regardless of who and which they are. Number three, I'm genuinely, Rashid, apolitical. Even by association, I don't. I only have 2 or 3 very dear friends. One passed away. That's it. I have no desire to be in politics or be associated with politics. I think it's a cesspool. And in that, I'm found wanting, because as a concerned citizen, I should be concerned. But I've been so decimated mentally by the shenanigans of India's politics that I refuse to either endorse or be a part of it. As simple. Does that mean I don't love my country? Of course it doesn't. I love my country, and because I love my country, I don't want to see it go through the ruination that it does. I've been one of the few people who on national television, on the so-called pro-government channels, has always said that what we are saying about Muslims, what we are saying about minorities in this country is shaming. It's a shame. And it's a shame on those very people who say we are the practitioners of Hinduism, because Hinduism is a way of life. Hinduism is embedded in the elements of tolerance. But how much are you going to fight? So the best thing is always walk away. I don't know, Rashid, if you're pretty old, but you may not be that old. Always listen to Kenny Rogers. When you see trouble, walk away. You don't always have to be in the middle of every big fight.
Know when to fold. I don't remember.
Kenny Rogers, can't go wrong.
Kenny Rogers. On that
पर आप लोग
note,
Roger Rabbit को सुनते होगे या दिखते होगे, ये तो प्रॉब्लम है देश की.
no, on that note, we all heard the fond of Kenny Rogers and The Gambler. But thank you so much for this conversation. And now it is time for us to fold at least. But interesting discussing Rahul Gandhi and discussing Suhail Seth also. But we're going to come back next week with some more conversations like this. But for now, thank you so much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.